Queensland border and New South Wales.
All right. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace Prabhu, who is our own uncle. And sincerely speaking, I feel so guilty that somehow I engaged Prabhu in this service of speaking Bhagavatam with us today, because it is 10 o'clock in the morning here, my time, but it is 2 o'clock a.m. Prabhuji's time. And I feel so guilty because in order for him to be here 2 o'clock means that he should be up by 1:30, which is quite unfair. But
No.
Prabhuji is here with us. We can't thank you enough, Prabhuji. But please forgive us for our offenses for engaging you in this way.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Well, we may put the verse on the screen and then you may take it over from Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Prabhuji, you are muted. Yeah. Good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is the SRIMAD Bhagavatam from Canto 3, chapter 4, and verse 31. I got the big screen here. Nadavon vapi manya yuna yadgunair nadita prabhu ato mad vayunam lokam grahayan ihatistatu. Translation. Uddhava is not inferior to me in any way, because he is never affected by the modes of material nature. Therefore, he may remain in this world in order to disseminate specific knowledge of the personality of Godhead. Purport. The specific qualification for becoming the representative of the Lord is to be unaffected by the material modes of nature. The highest qualification of a person in the material world is to be a Brahmana. But since a Brahmana is in the mode of goodness, to be a Brahmana is not sufficient for becoming a representative of the Lord. One has to transcend the mode of goodness also, and be situated in unallied goodness, unaffected by any of the qualities of material nature. This stage of transcendental qualification is called Suddha Sattva, or Vasudeva, and in this stage, the science of God can be realized. As the Lord is not affected by the modes of material nature, so a pure devotee of the Lord is also not affected by the modes of nature. That is the primary qualification for being one with the Lord. A person who is able to attain this transcendental qualification is called Jivan Mukta, or liberated, even though he is apparently in the material creation conditions. This liberation is achieved by one who constantly engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1 to 187, it is stated, Iha jasya hare dasya karmana manasha gira nikila swapi avastasu jivan mukta sa uchate. Anyone who, by his actions, mind and words, lives only for the transcendental loving service of the Lord is certainly a liberated soul, even though he may appear to be in a condition of material existence. Uddhava was in such a transcendental position, and thus he was selected to be the factual representative of the Lord in his bodily absence from the vision of the world. Such a devotee of the Lord is never affected by material strength, intelligence, or even renunciation. Such a devotee of the Lord can withstand all onslaughts of material nature, and therefore he is known as Goswami. Only such Goswami can penetrate the mysteries of the Lord's transcendental loving relationships. Yeah. Mama Kenyati Vrandasya Gananjana Sulakaya Sakshuru Unlitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shrunivadi Vashatate Shatarine Panchakalvatar Vashya Kripasindave Vache Patitanam Pavaneva Vishnave Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So this is a really nice verse, actually. I'll just read the translation again. Uddhava is not inferior to me in any way because he is never affected by the modes of material nature. Therefore, he may remain in this world in order to disseminate specific knowledge of the personality of Godhead. So, and here nicely Srila Prabhupada explains that at least in order to be a representative, or at least one needs to be, a qualification is that he should be Brahmana. Even in the material world. But to be Krishna's representative, one has to be not even a Brahmana, higher than that, because you need to be a Vaishnava. Vaishnava is one who is representative of Krishna, of the Lord. It says here, one has to transcend that goodness. At least one has to be in the goodness. But in order to be a representative of the Lord, a Vaishnava, or pure devotee of the Lord, he has to be, according to here, a Sudasatta, or a Vasudeva platform, or on the transcendental platform, a Vaishnava. Because people are born in the Brahmana family. In India, people are born in the Brahmana family, but doesn't make one a Brahmana by born in the Brahmana family. One has to have the nature of born with the nature. Qualification is that he has to acquire those qualities. See, when Srila Prabhupada, otherwise, when Srila Prabhupada went to America, there's no Brahmanas there. The Westerners, the Americans, Europeans, they're not born in the Brahmana family, but they become qualified. They become qualities. I mean, the qualification that they achieve, become, is by the mercy of the Guru, or the spiritual master. So, one may be born in a Brahman family. He has the capacity, or the facilities to become a Brahmana because he's born in the Brahman family, but still need to acquire the qualities. That's what it says here. And in this stage, the signs of God can be realized. As the Lord is not affected by the mode of material nature, so pure devotee of the Lord is also not affected by the mode of nature. That is the primary qualification for being one with the Lord. A person who is able to attain this transcendental qualification is called Jivan Mukta, or liberated, even though he is apparent in material condition. So that means one who is a devotee of the Lord, he, even in the material world, he is liberated. And then that's why Srila Prabhupada explains that from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by quoting this verse, Iha jasya hare jasya hare dasya karmana manasha gira, that he is Krishna conscious wherever he is because of his purity. So it's not the qualification is actions. The qualification is his activities, his lifestyle. The qualification is how he lives his life in a Krishna conscious platform. He cannot be just born in a Brahmin family and be a Vaishnava. One has to be Vaishnava by acquiring the qualities of a Vaishnava. Automatically, one is a Brahmana by being as a devotee of Krishna. That is and here Uddhava is almost, is according to this verse, he is equal to Krishna. So sometimes even Krishna himself may say that my devotees are equal to me out of love for his devotees, but doesn't mean that we consider ourselves, or pure devotee consider themselves as good as Krishna. But Krishna, he, out of love for his devotee, like a cowherd boy with Krishna, they play together, but they all know underneath this is their God, this is their best friend, this is their supreme Lord. But out of friendship, sometimes it can happen that they become equal, but underneath they know that they are not equal. So that they don't forget that. But sometimes it can happen. But out of love, like I said, out of love for his devotees, Krishna sometimes say, this person, this devotee is as good as me. And they are as good as him in qualities. But the devotee is thinking, I'm just a humble servant of my guru, humble servant of Krishna, humble servant of the Vaishnavas. So this comes in the characteristics of Vaishnava culture, and that Vaishnava culture is in the highest level, when in the level of in the spiritual world, that that sometimes the devotees are equal to Krishna. So this we have to understand. So, and that's what it says here. This is a very inner meaning that we have to understand. Uddhava was in such a transcendental position, and thus he was selected to be the factual representative of the Lord in his bodily absence from the vision of the Lord. Such a devotee of the Lord is never affected by material strength, intelligence, or even renunciation. Such a devotee of the Lord can withstand all onslaughts of material nature, and therefore he is known as Goswami. So it's not that Krishna easily tells, you're equal to me. It's not anyone. They have to have the characteristics of a great Vaishnava, of a great devotee. They can be equal to Krishna. But at the same time, it's a very intricate point. At the same time, like I said, he is underneath so humble that he's always thinking of Krishna, always with love in Krishna consciousness. He is never in mind thinking that I am so and so. That's a representative of Krishna. A representative of Krishna is one who is extremely humble, extremely pure in the heart. And so Brahmana, it's the basic character a human being must come to at level of a Brahminical characteristic. And the qualities of a Brahmana is that he is clean. So many clean externally and clean internally, and that he is full of knowledge. He studied the scriptures, and he is God conscious, but is more than that, one who is representative of Krishna according to this verse. And representative of Krishna is as a spiritual master, a spiritual teacher. And Uddhava here is a spiritual teacher. He is a representative of Krishna because he is Jivan Mukta. He's liberated, even though he is in the material conditions. So sometimes we don't understand, even amongst our own community of devotees, there can be such persons who we have to understand through knowledge the characteristics of individual devotees. So sometimes the devotees will not reveal their position as the representative of Krishna, but we can understand through the character, spiritual character. So it's very tricky because we can sometimes become how you say judge people, judge the devotees. But that is okay to see each other's connection. But then we also have to go deeper and understand that maybe these people, are very special, especially those who are connected to Prabhupada, those who are connected to our spiritual master, those who are connected to Krishna through Guru Parampara. We have to give them special attention and respect accordingly. So there's different levels of Krishna consciousness, and that level of Krishna consciousness, the highest platform, is that one who is beyond any material conditioning. So just like Grihastas, and then there's Vanapastas, and then there's sannyasis, and then there's brahmacharis. These are actually even that platform of different level, even that is not the highest platform of Krishna consciousness. That's just a different ashrams. Doesn't mean they are Krishna conscious. That's just the ashram that Krishna created. But still, that is required to go through those platforms. But higher than that is Vaishnava Brahmana, Vaishnava Sannyasi. One can be very renounced, one can be a sannyasi, but that is not enough to be a highest platform of being a Krishna conscious, because one can be brahmachari, one can be a grihastha, one can be a sannyasi, or any of these four ashrams. Doesn't make one a pure devotee of Krishna. But these platforms are there, as at least in the primary stages. One has to have these stages so that this stage will help us to come to the next level. But it doesn't mean that one has to be a sannyasi to go back to Godhead. That means, what about grihasthas? What about the brahmacharis? So not everyone is on the platform of sannyasi, or not everyone is brahmachari, or not everyone is vanapasta. But everyone has equal opportunity to become Krishna conscious. Now, in whatever platform one is in, they have to have the characteristics of a great Vaishnava sadhu. That is the most important thing. And that characteristics is explained here, Uddhava, a representative of Krishna. And specific qualification of Uddhava, Prabhupada explains that even while Jivan Mukta, even when he is here in the material world, in the material conditioning, he was pure devotee, he was liberated. That's a very difficult thing to achieve for a devotee, because we're not always in the temple in front of the deity, and devotees are surrounded by devotees. Every one of us, we have this class, and we are in the temple for the program, but then we have to go about our daily duties with your family. We have to work, we have to go out, associate mundane people. But that is the test of a devotee, that if we can maintain our Krishna consciousness wherever we are, we can maintain our spiritual status to continue with our service wherever we are, in any condition, in any platform of Krishna consciousness, is to be that, to maintain that level of Krishna consciousness wherever we are. And we have to somehow remember our Krishna, to think of Krishna. We have to remember the spiritual master, remember the holy name. And that is the difficult thing, because to overcome our senses, that gets in the way to be Krishna conscious. The senses, the mind, and these our desires, these things gets in the way. There are blockages. Just like I went to Gold Coast on the weekend, and we had a very good. I go there every year. They have these kids from under the age of 18, different age groups. They come from different states, and they have a holiday, and they come big groups. So we go in Harinam, and we engage these kids in chanting, and we have a big, huge chanting, and they all chant. Just a very nice way to engage them. And so many of these kids, and they have programs for them. And so many of these kids, they said, you're chanting, you're Hare Krishna, you're dancing in the street, this is better than anything that they have for them. They themselves said that. They enjoy it so much. I have videos of it. If we go into my Facebook account, you'll see we put all these videos that recently I went to these programs. So that is the way to be Krishna conscious. And they have no idea of Krishna consciousness, or they're not born in a devotee family. They're just young kids, coming from Aussie material background, but they love it. So anyone can come to the platform of Krishna consciousness. That only they can be. That depends on us, how we are going to engage them. Depends on our Krishna consciousness. Depends on our level of spiritual life. We have to be able to engage them. We have to be able to bring them to Krishna. That depends on us. So if they see us, how we are becoming spiritual and becoming Krishna conscious ourselves, how we deal with each other and in our association, then others, apani achar. First, you become Krishna conscious, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, then you can engage others. That is the way. So it's not like we can say, when people, even amongst us, when we are chanting Hare Krishna, becoming Krishna conscious ourselves, other devotees may make a comment how you are becoming Krishna conscious or not, how you're chanting your japa or not, how you are dealing with others and not. So it all depends on our own Krishna consciousness. So when these kids, they saw us, we are jumping and dancing and in ecstasy, they love it. They said, wow, there's nothing like in this world. That immediately they put on the transcendental platform. It's not that, they are not in any spiritual platform, but they put on the platform. They're onto that platform straight away, because that's how devotional service is. It puts on that platform straight away. But then, of course, if they get more into it, they join and they take initiation, then they accept guru, then there's many things, devotional principles they have to apply in their life. You become in line and you have to develop this character. So there's a system for everything. But then, if one can be Krishna conscious, it doesn't depend where you are, what platform you are. You can be Krishna conscious straight away. Like when they're singing and dancing in such ecstasy, they're not thinking, "Oh, wait a minute, I am Brahmana, I'm supposed to be studying." And wait a minute, like I'm Grihastha, I'm a sannyasi. Wait a minute. No, they're dancing and singing. They're highest platform already. They're not thinking. So that is what required actually to be Krishna conscious. Full absorption from beginning. So to get on that platform, we have to be always on it. But then when you stop, I think, oh, I have this problem, I have that problem, I have got to do this, I have to go to work, I have this, because we're coming down to a different platform. But once you're fully absorbed Krishna consciousness, you are not on any material platform. And that's what is required, actually, to be fully Krishna conscious. It's not that we're jumping up and down, but we can be Krishna conscious within our heart. Also, we can be Krishna conscious while we are at work. That depending how we are absorbed in our thought. So if you go out and you go to work and you're thinking so many things, you're affected by material nature, you're affected by the people around you, then we're not Krishna conscious. Because we think, oh, my senses, this is now lunchtime, and what I'm going to eat. I bring my, veggie burger, and I'm going to eat that. Or, I miss my friend because he's going to entertain me. So we come down on the material platform. I miss her, I miss him. We identify with sensual pleasures of life. So those are the things that blocks our absorption of Krishna consciousness. But pure devotee like Uddhava was pure devotee because he was not affected by any material conditioning. Why do we have these programs? Why do we have to have this online class? Because we are reminding ourselves how we can go through different stages of Krishna consciousness, how we can become Krishna conscious by accepting a different method and platform of Krishna consciousness, because we have to have these programs. Otherwise, we will not become Krishna conscious. Pure devotees, they're always thinking of Krishna. They don't need to have this program. So, mundane people, it's not their fault. They're born in ignorance. But we have to become expert at engaging them in Krishna consciousness. We have to engage them and bring them to the platform, to the lotus feet of Prabhupada, to the lotus feet of Krishna. That's going to be our job. So this month, already started, is the month where we are devotees going out on book marathon, book distribution every year. So it's not easy. Prabhupada said, those who distribute my books, they're very highest devotee. But he also said those who are doing puja, deity worship, they're also highest. Those who are cooking, they're highest. Like I cook for Radha Ballava, our temple here in Melbourne. So if I say, oh, books are the highest, of course, distribution of the books is the highest. But if I didn't cook, there's no pusharam for the devotees going out as well. So you have to understand. But I believe that going out distributing books is the highest because it's easy to cook. You can figure it out in the temple. You can give a class, be a devotee. That's easy. But to go on the front line and the street to try to stop people, it's tough. People going, they're not totally observing material life. To try to stop them and sell them a book, spiritual releases books, it's very tough. That's why it's highest. So it's required. That's going to make you really Krishna conscious. You have to cry to Krishna, please help. And he will give inspiration from within to talk to people and make the spirit soul within that material person will ask them to stop to talk to the Vaishnava. So it's no secrecy. It's how we are going to be Krishna conscious, how we are really praying to Krishna and touching his lotus feet and deeply praying to him to help us to become Krishna conscious so we can impress others. You can give the Krishna consciousness to others. But if they see we are just not Krishna conscious, we're just goofing around and we're not serious, that's going to be harder to impress others and stop people on the street to distribute a book. So we have to be really Krishna conscious. So that's why book distribution is highest, I believe. I mean, I did it before, but sometimes you can get frustrated and we go on their platform. They can be very rough. People tell bad things, and you get a job, and they can spit at you, say swearing words at a devotee. You can get angry. You have to be very tolerant. So it's very tough. So that's why book distribution is highest, I reckon. But at the same time, all the service of Krishna is good. So similarly, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are, Krishna created this ashram, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Banapasya. Krishna created this, and they're all good if they can have the characteristics of those ashrams that they are in. But it doesn't make one Krishna conscious. One has to be really Krishna conscious, a representative of Krishna, a Brahmana, a Vaishnava Brahmana, a sadhu. You have to become a guru, spiritual teacher. Then you can, you're in the higher than Vaishnava, higher than the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, or Brahmachari, Grihastha, Banapasya. This is the standard of a Krishna conscious person. And he can be anywhere in the world. He's Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada was watching a Charlie Chaplin movie on an airplane when he was traveling. So at that time, devotees are very strict. And Prabhupada was laughing and he was watching Charlie Chaplin movie. And his servant said, Prabhupada, how can you, this is Maya, like how can you watch Charlie Chaplin movie? I was telling that to Prabhupada, imagine that. Prabhupada is Krishna conscious no matter what. He's, Jivan Mukta, pure devotee. Prabhupada said, no, I'm watching Charlie Chaplin, but I'm not affected by it. He said, I see this is humor in Krishna, because this is a comedy show. This is how Krishna is humorous. He's the highest. So he's seeing Krishna through the movie. So if I say, wow, look at that, it won't be the same as Prabhupada. So ordinary people, ordinary devotees, were not on the platform of Srila Prabhupada. So, but he's setting the example how, even though he was watching that movie, but he was seeing Krishna through that. That's a pure devotee. So, if we don't encourage devotees to see Charlie Chaplin movie, but it happened to be you're sitting in an airplane and then they happen to be showing in the Charlie Chaplin movie, and then so you watch a little bit and you see Krishna in it. But that's only in the airplane. Every day is a test for us. We go out in the street, something in a home, something or the other. We're tested by Maya, and we fall for it. We become victim by Maya because we can maintain our Krishna consciousness. So be Krishna conscious, we have to go above the material platform. Material platform, what is material platform? It means you're not observing Krishna. Then other thing comes in the head, and then we become affected by it. That's simple. Krishna consciousness means you don't forget Krishna. And anywhere you are, you remember Krishna. Not we're just talking about it now. After we finish talking, it's not I go back to sleep. I'm so hyped up about chanting Hare Krishna, I can't go back to sleep afterward. That's what it does in spiritual life. We see sometimes, like I'm a kirtan leader. I do big kirtans. If you go into my, you'll see I do huge kirtans, big. And even afterward, kirtans finish, we still can't stop talking about Krishna and Hare Krishna. And we're just going on and on. Because Krishna consciousness, it puts us on that spiritual platform. We can't suddenly go back to material level again. So that's why Krishna consciousness, these spiritual programs, and talking about Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, and japa session, Bhagavatam class, this is required because with these programs, we can help us. It helps us to become spiritually minded. It helps us to become devotional to Krishna. It helps us to become Krishna conscious. It's not like a magic that you tap on the head and you Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, you have to actually chant japa nicely. You have to actually have initiation from a guru. You have to have the mercy of the Vaishnavas. It's not like you do a magic show and then that is the magic. The real magic of a devotee is that he aspires to be Krishna conscious. They can control his senses, like it says the Goswami. We have to overcome our senses. That's not easy. The senses always are dragging us down to the material platform. I want to eat, I want to sleep, I want to do this, I want to do that. I was just watching and the Facebook, and there's this one lady in Ethiopia, I think, somewhere in Africa. This lady hasn't eaten for 16 years, not even drank water. That's impossible for a human being to do in this age. That may be other yugas. 16 years. So they took her body, like they took her to somewhere in Europe, checked her system, that how can she, an ordinary human being, that there's no traces of food in her body, and she's still fine, completely fine, like normal. How she can get energy without food? That's just a unique platform. And so they went to her house and they went to her room. She has pictures of Jesus, like devotees, we put photos of Krishna in the room, altar. So, and they ask her, how he can do it? He says it's God's work. God made her like that. That's true. Why do we need to eat? Why do we need to sleep? On the spiritual body, you don't need those things. But because we have material body, we require food. Like you see the trees. The trees, they only have water and air. They don't have burgers and chips and pizza. They can live, and they're very strong trees. They can withstand the weather and standing there cold and hot, the trees and plants. So similarly, spiritual platform, I think, one is not affected by the material conditioning. Material conditioning is just like when you eat a lot, then you have to go to the toilet. If you eat less, then you go to less toilet. It's possible in this body even. But of course, if you're working, you need to eat. You work hard, you need to eat. But this is just this is now. That lady is living now. This, like last week, they went to see her. Just recently. And we hear stories of people living for 200 years, 300 years. Of course, they're living in their bones, but at least their soul is still living in there. It's possible to live, even in Kali Yuga. But then I don't want to sit in the bones and I'm going to be able to go Harinam and do Kirtan. That's going to be impossible. We want to be active for Krishna. How are we going to preach if you're just like, living in the bones? Okay, you're 300 years old. Well, so what? You're just lying there. But we need to be active for Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived only 48 years. Doesn't mean that that person live for 300 years in the bones is better. What we do in our life is more important. It's not how we live, how long we live. Trees live for a long time, but so what? They're just standing all day, doing nothing. Of course, if they're giving fruit and the leaves, you can offer to Krishna. That's the only thing. Or some useless tree, then what's the point? So what? We have to be active for Krishna. What we do in our life, how we live our life is more important than how long we live. We can live for a long time, but so what? People live for 300 years. Satya Yuga people live for 100,000 years. Kali Yuga will live for 100 years, if you can make it up to 100. But if you can be Krishna conscious in this 100 years, every devotee's desire that their guru can live a long life, so they can be here to preach, so you can associate with them. Like Jayapataka Maharaj, he is in that condition, but he has such a strong desire to preach Krishna consciousness, even in that fragile body. But he's still living because of his strong desire to live. Many of my god brothers already passed away. So Krishna is in control of our life. But we need to have the strong desire to live for Krishna, to preach for Krishna, to glorify Krishna. Otherwise, we're just simply living. What's the point? Every day you go to work, come back, eat home, eat, sleep, bus, and then you die. What's the point? So we have to be active for Krishna. We have to be, that's what devotee means, Krishna consciousness means. Like Uddhava, he is active for Krishna. He's almost like Krishna because he loves Krishna so much, he's thinking of Krishna so much, he's become like Krishna. That's how it does. Like if you think of someone so much all the time, you can not forget, always remembering. Like if you love someone, you think of them, you almost like become like them in character. You're with them. You can't live without them. So that's a devotee. So that's what is required. And then for such devotee, there's no misery, because Krishna is all happiness. You live in happiness because you're living with Krishna in the mind. You're thinking of Krishna. But to be on that platform is very hard, because even though it's easy, because the mind and the senses, like I said, they always block us, and they always stop us from. We can only have classes, discuss about these things, but as soon as you stop, the mind again takes over our senses. So at least we have to come to the realization. That's what Prabhupada said. Realize, soul. We get battered by Maya, then we turn to Krishna, please help me. So in our case, to be Krishna conscious is to come to the point of realization. We've been through so many lives. At least now we are so fortunate in this human form to become good devotees of Krishna by remembering Krishna. Why these stories of Uddhava is there is because it's a reminder to us that we can become like Uddhava and be very Krishna conscious and be like him by his blessings, by his mercy. If we are sincere enough, then Krishna will bless us from within. Just like distributing books on the street. The devotee, he wakes up, go to the program, chant japa, he's praying, I'm going to have such a tough day and I'm going to be street, please Krishna. There's no room to be a slack. So he's so Krishna conscious on the street, there's bound to, Krishna is obliged to help him, to bring the conditioned soul to him. Krishna become obliged. Krishna is not listening. He's listening. Krishna is there listening to you. And these are the criteria of becoming Krishna conscious. Okay, Hare Krishna. We'll take questions now.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, beloved uncle. Your katha is always very practical and always encouraging the devotees to try to live the teachings. So we thank you for that. And the devotees, if anyone may have questions, realizations, comments, you may want to ask or share, please. You indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to ask your question or to speak. But we see, I have one senior god brother here, Harichakra Prabhu. He once shared a pastime with me and other devotees that because those days devotees will go out to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books and also will sell incense. And somebody who used to buy incense from a particular devotee saw that the same incense, those days the incense was called Padmini. The name of the incense, Padmini. Okay. And the same incense was also being sold in the ordinary stores. And he realized that the price was a little less than what the devotee was selling to him for. So he met this devotee, other devotee, and he told him, your people, the Hare Krishna people, one of them is my friend. He sells me this incense. I thought it's only Hare Krishna people who have it, but I saw one in this market, and it's a little less than what the Hare Krishna person sells to me. And his answer to this person was, well, they may be the same incense, but the results of using the Hare Krishna devotee incense is not the same as the results you will get from the ordinary store. And I'm saying this to point to a statement that Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan, a disciple of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, said that even though one may chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if the Hare Krishna Mahamantra has not been given to him by the spiritual master, the effect is not the same. So the question is, why is it that the prayer, the mantra is the same, yet the effect is not the same because the other person was given the mantra by a devotee, and the other person was not given by a devotee. I'm saying was not given in the sense that it was not formally given. Because when people are reading Srila Prabhupada's books, the mantras are there, and it's also given by Srila Prabhupada, but it's not like a formal diksha where Srila Prabhupada initiates or the guru initiates the individual into the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So I would like you to share a little bit on this, why the difference is there. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, one thing we have to understand is very important to the question of loyalty. That's one thing. So when we say, I am so-and-so, my guru, whatever it is, then we have to accept the guru's order to the heart, sincerely. So if one is a disciple of Prabhupada or disciple of Prabhupada disciple, we are connected to Krishna through Gauriya Vaishnava. That is the most important thing for us. Or someone who is already a disciple of someone who is bona fide, but not in our line. They can also understand this point, to be loyal to their guru. That is the first principle. Doesn't matter we're here or this group or that group, but whatever it is, they have to remain loyal to their guru. So we have to understand that point as the first principle of a loyal disciple. And the mantra, of course, may be the same, but it depends on the what line you are coming from. Because like, it's not something we can make up. It's a principle that has to be handed down, like a rule of law. It's not I can make my own rule, but the rule is rule, but it has to be authorized rule coming from a government. Then it becomes implemented as authorized. Prabhupada gives the example, like if you want to send a letter, you can put your own post box in the front of your lawn, and then you put it's going to be still there the next day and the next day. But you have to find the authorized box, letter box, where you put your letter, then it will reach to its destination. So similarly, you can't make up your own letter box and expect it to go to where you want it to go. You have to follow, you have to put it in the box that's authorized by the government. Similarly, the mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra, that is the quality of a person who is going to accept that mantra. They want to express their love for Krishna by accepting a guru who can inspire them to be Krishna conscious, to be more love for the mantra, for the holy name. Just like you choose me to speak. I'm all the way here in Melbourne. You're all the way in America or Africa. People are listening. Well, you could have chosen anyone from the street over there. Why? Because it's this same principle that we can take the same verse and talk about it and study it, and then get someone to speak. Why you choose me? Because I'm in that line. We are all in the group, in the team, in the spiritual line. And so even if I'm not going blah blah blah, but I'm talking according to the in line with the scriptures, what I heard from my guru. So that's the system. So guru disciple. So it's not that the mantra itself is pure, but it depends where it is coming from who is giving it to you. And just like it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, one should give charity to the right person at the right time, not to anyone. We don't go around, like if you go to a home program, sometimes they give you money because they know this person is Vaishnava, as a principle for Grihastha to give dakshin, and he will not misuse. That's the time to give, after meal, before they leave. And this was there even Krishna's time, when we read from the Mahabharata. And Karna used to give charity. They used to come to him when the suns rise in the morning, and then a Brahmana would come, you give Guru Dakshin to the Brahmanas as a principle. So similarly, who you give, how if they're gonna misuse or not. So chanting Hare Krishna, similarly, it's a mantra. It's sacred. It's very spiritual. It has to come from the spiritual person. It's not a mundane sound vibration. It has to come from someone who is qualified to give that mantra. And also, like I said, the disciple who is accepting that, they want the mantra from someone who, like it says, realized person. Someone who is a Goswami, or someone who is a Jivan Mukta. Because it's more effective. if it's coming from them. You want it to really affect you, your heart, purify us, and bring us back to Godhead. So we want it, we purposely, we want from that person who can inspire us through the mantra, but that mantra is much more effective. It is already effective in its original form, but in it's handed down from a person who is very pure is more effective. Like, so we have to be selective when it comes to this point. Not like, oh, your guru I take, you go to India, there's guru everywhere in the street. You're my guru, and everyone's calling you. Hey, it's not like something you're selling in the street. Come to my shop. No, it has to be parampara system. Not just anyone can just give out. Even the holy name. I heard about Krishna before I was a small kid. I saw so many people chanting, and I have people come begging in door to door, and they have kartal, they're singing Hare Krishna, and then they stop for begging. So they use the mantra for different reasons. They may not understand anything. What is this mantra? But it has to come. Initiation is there. A guru has to initiate into the sampradaya through this Hare Krishna mantra. Previously, many years ago, hundreds of years ago, they used to not chant Hare Krishna loudly. They chant the Hare Krishna in the ear. They initiate because it's so pure and it's so secret that they would not tell. When you're chanting in the street, okay, but then when initiation time, they would tell in the ear. It was so secret. And so, of course, so this is how we know. Just like if you take a bucket of paint, it's white, pure white, and you put milk, a bucket of milk next to it, you can't tell the difference. You start taking, oh, this is milk, this bucket of paint. So we have to know what is correct thing and not just accept things as all same. It's not, even though it looks the same. You see the Ritviks and different groups, they all break away. Somebody just asked me a few days ago, is the Ritvik going to go back to Godhead or not? I said, no. I have to be heavy. It's not, it's making it so easy. There you break away from Krishna. Like, he created the system. Krishna himself created the system. You have to accept a guru. Krishna accepted a guru. But not direct jumping. You're my guru. Like from a picture. No. You have to accept the gurus that they can, who are still alive. Like Krishna, he accepted Sandipani Muni as the guru. He's God. He's Adi Guru, original guru. Why he's required to accept a guru? Because that's the system. He's God himself. He knows everything. Why he is required to accept a guru? So even though everything is the same, but still he have to follow the process. The system must be followed. And that's how it works. So the holy name is pure, but still it has to come from an initiation who can give you. Like even if you are not initiated, but still you're working at it, you're among the association of devotees, you one day will be initiated. So every devotee's desire is to get initiated. They're crazy for it. Oh, I want to get initiated. So they have all this thing now, different tests and stuff. They all want to be initiated. But if that initiation is not there, everyone is Hare Krishna, you can go back to God. No, the system is there. You have to accept it. Of course, holy name is pure, but it has to follow through the system. Yeah. Just like when you buy a ticket, airplane ticket, you buy it from online, whatever, but it's ultimately coming from the source, from the travel agent. And they are the agent, travel agent. They buy a ticket from the airline. I can't just sell it. No, you have to be an agent. So the agent is the guru. Guru is the agent. And the original salesperson is God. And he is in line with that. So that's I can't explain more than this. This explains in a big way.
Yeah. It's very, very self-explanatory. Thank you so much. Especially when you said it is a process that, especially when you're talking about like the rhetorics, Krishna himself accepted the Guru. Lord Chaitanya himself accepted the Guru. And in the Bible, there was a prophet, John the Baptist, and then he himself prophesied that Jesus Christ was coming after him, and he said Jesus Christ is greater than he himself. So Lord Jesus Christ approached him for baptism, and John the Baptist said, "No, I cannot do that because I know you are superior to me." And Jesus Christ accepted that, but he said, "You have to do it. You have to baptize me so that the scriptures will be fulfilled." Because one has to have a spiritual master. So it's in line with that. Thank you so much. But you mentioned something in your deliberation, which reminded me of a situation that took place some time ago, in the sense that you were talking about trees, like their main purpose is like maybe their leaves for healing and their fruits for consumption by other animals or humans, or maybe providing shade for shelter in the scorching sun. Otherwise, they are not very important. There used to be one guy, I've forgotten his name, he's dead, but he was in the US and he fought against the government so hard because almost every time these scientists come up with something to help human beings live like a better, healthy life, they test whatever they prepare on animals. And he was an advocate for animals, that you cannot just use animals for your tests. Like they will use cats, they will use mice to test the efficacy of. So if you would like to shed a bit more into why you said that trees, their only benefit is the leaves and fruits, because some people believe that trees and all other creatures are also a conduit of consciousness. They all carry a lot of consciousness. For example, I already mentioned, and one guru also said that all human beings can be wiped out from the surface of the earth. The earth will still be okay. But if you wipe out bees, it may be very difficult for the earth to survive. For us as human beings, we may not understand why wiping out bees will make the earth difficult to continue providing shelter to all creatures. So if you would like to shed a little bit more light on why you did state that trees just for the fruits and the leaves.
You see, human beings and are the highest living entities, human beings. I mean, there's no comparison to like trees or anything. We have a greater responsibilities. We cannot compare to us as a tree. But everything a human being, because we are the highest, we had dominion over all species of life. First thing we have to understand. Just because we're a human being doesn't mean we have control over everything, even though we have, but we have to have mercy, and we have to respect that. We have to protect that. Just like Christian, they say only animals, only human beings have life, animals don't. But that is not correct, because Prabhupada explained life means something that has consciousness, it moves. And even a plant is moving. If you have a seed, and it will grow into a tree. So there's life in that. So life comes from life. There's that book. So we cannot say we are a human being is the highest, because in human life we can understand the platform of spiritual elevation, consciousness. But trees and plants, they cannot render service like a human being to God. The whole idea, the difference is that we have the facility to elevate ourselves even from a human life. We are encaged too in the human body. It's not like we can get up in the morning and fly off and then we're brushing our teeth in the sky. We are stuck in this body. We stuck with our senses. Trees are stuck in the same place. We may be moving around, but we are still stuck in the material body. So we have our freedom, but the freedom the trees have, the birds have, this other species, that freedom we have, they don't have that. The only difference is that we can be God conscious and they can be. They're stuck in that position. This is how we explain. We can go to the temple. A dog cannot. They have to tie the dog outside the door because they can't come in. We can go to the church. We can go to the temple, chant japa, do kirtan, distribute books, do puja. The dog cannot. But if a human being, if they misuse their human body, they're like dogs. They act like dogs or cat or tree. So the trees, it's a form of punishment. They're stuck in one place. They can't move. You can, if you think about it, if I say, okay, just like when I was in Gurukul, I went to Gurukul. If I did, some of my friends, they're doing some stupid things, nonsense. So they're grounded. They can't leave the property. They can't go anywhere outside the Gurukul premises. They're grounded just to control them. So they're checked on. There's somebody checking on you. There's guard there. If you're not going out, there's where you're going. Guards are told this boy is not allowed to leave this property. So the trees, they're stuck in that one tree for many years. And the ants, maybe they live one life in one night. Their whole life is finished in one night. But that's their whole life. So everybody has their karma that they have to share. But God is not cruel. He gives us what we deserve. We ask for that. It's all accident. There's a reason for everything. So trees, because they're in their progression to become a human being one day. So they're already in that process. So they have to, once they are in that category, have a tree or a bird or a fish or insects, they're all climbing to the hill, top of the hill. The top of the hill, once you're top of the hill, that's the human body. So we're already on the human body. So if we are in the human body, but our behavior is like the fish or a tree or a cat or dog, then we're going to be grounded again, like a tree. But the only way the tree can elevate, if they can give their service. If the tree is in a temple garden, they can hear the holy name chanting, maybe very low, and devotees, they throw chanamita under the tree or prasadam. They're going to get benefit for that because of Krishna's purity. And the trees, if they can give shade to the devotees, offer fruits and flower from that tree, we offer to Krishna. That's their service. But if they are going to be a tree in the middle of New York or some park, I don't know how they're going to get benefit unless the devotees come by, embrace the tree, chant Hare Krishna to it. And that's what we're doing. We're going Harinam all over the world in big cities and enabling to make people Krishna consciousness. People are not better than a tree. These people have no interest in God. The tree is better. At least the trees, they're not causing trouble. They're standing in one place, they don't break into people's home and crime and all this thing. The trees. So if we are a human being and we do things that are against God, against the religious principles, then they become a tree. The tree is actually better. So everyone has their capacity, what they're meant to do. As a human being, our dharma as a human being, our principle, that we have to be God conscious. We have that sufficient intelligence and knowledge. But trees don't have that. So that's their karma. But then they have to wait till they get a human body. But then if they misuse their human form of life to forget their responsibility as a human being to be God conscious, to make ourselves spiritual person, and why we're suffering. Athada Brahma Jigyasa. What makes one a human being is when we can inquire into absolute truth. Why am I suffering? Is this life is everything? Why am I here? What is all this life is all about? What is this world? What is the tree? What is the water? All these things we can only understand in a human body, in a human life. So a tree cannot, but they don't have any karma because the trees are trees. They're already suffering in that form. So these are the basic understanding of differences. But everybody has the responsibility. I cannot say, oh, look, like I want to behave like a cat and a dog. If you're in America or somewhere, you have to drive according to the rules of the road in America. Here may be different. So I didn't know. No. Otherwise, why did you get a car? Just because you have a license, you have to know the principle of the road rules. Similarly, as human being, we have our higher principles of life that we have to adopt and follow. Otherwise, we are breaking the law of God, the ultimate law. If there is law of every country, there's also laws of human beings, God's laws. At least become a human being. Be good to others, like Jesus said, 10 commandments. That makes one human being. And for us, we say follow 4 principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex. You cannot tell that to a dog. They do. Sorry, you cannot do illicit sex. The dogs, that's their happiness. And they eat meat. That's their food. They go to the supermarket and get dog food, which is meat. But we have to follow the 4 principles because that is our law. We are patram pushpam phalam tayam. Krishna says, you offer to me a leaf, a fruit, a flower, I accept it if it's offering devotion. We eat what God eats. God is vegetarian, Krishna. So a tree cannot say that. Or a dog or a cat or a fish. Fish eat fish. That's their food. Or gunks in the sea. It's like that. So there are differences. But the differences is that only difference as a human being that we can be Krishna conscious. We can rise our consciousness together to be a better human being, or demigod, or Vaishnava, first of all, like it says here, and then to go back to Godhead forever in the spiritual world.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think we have a hand up. His Grace, go Prabhu, please, you be on mute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the class, but I still take issue with this thing because we must understand, at least in my realization, that there is an ecosystem of consciousness.
Yeah.
And the ecosystem is not only human-centric. We would not be conscious as human beings if we did not have surrounding trees and oxygen. And if we are to believe, as I do, that even a single atom has consciousness, the air, the water, this. So we cannot survive and glorify ourselves as human beings strictly without appreciating our broader role in the ecosystem of overall consciousness and the way it flows through us. You know, we might have been a tree once, we might have been a cat once, or we may be in future when we are dead and buried and whatever. So I feel your distinction that they are not as sophisticated or cannot be conscious, you know, but we cannot be conscious without them. So they have a role in the whole ecosystem of consciousness.
Yes.
I think I wanted to establish that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, on the other hand, what I'm also talking about is spiritual consciousness. So spiritual consciousness, of course, the evolution of consciousness is a natural evolution, as a tree or an animal or a bird. We all need that. But spiritual consciousness is beyond that. Suppose cat or a dog going to mandir, singing and dancing, that's not going to happen because they don't have that evolution, spiritual evolution. But we not only have the understanding of other life and species, but we also have that spiritual development that we can develop in our spiritual, in this human form. That they don't have that facility. That's the difference. Yeah.
No, I accept that, Prabhu. But
yeah,
we would not have that consciousness if they were not around. That was my point.
I get that, yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Well, thank you so much. I think what Gaur Prabhu just said and what Prabhu also affirmed to it is that, Prabhu will come to you, is that I believe one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples shared a memory of Srila Prabhupada, and he was saying that Srila Prabhupada was walking down the street with his disciples, and they found somebody's pipe. It was kind of broken, and the water was just wasting. Srila Prabhupada went in and then shut the water off. And Srila Prabhupada was telling the disciples that this is Krishna's energy. We have to respect it. So the devotees are also encouraged to respect all creatures and them, even though we may be the bridge to cross over the material creation, having these human bodies. But as devotees, we also give respect to all creation. So I think it's in line with what all of you are saying. Govinda Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hello.
All glories to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you very much for the wonderful Krishna conscience message given out today. I would like you to kindly explain further about the first question asked by Sadi Prabhu concerning the mantra given by the spiritual master. The conclusion of your explanation came to the point that, which of course I also agree with you, and that has been my understanding, but I would like you also to explain further about the potency of the mantra. the medicine that is prepared by a physician, he's putting all the necessary ingredients for that medicine to be potent. And so wherever the medicine may fall, the potency is still there, just like a seed. A seed has all the potency to become a tree, provided that seed is fall on a fertile land or fertile grounds. It has to germinate, and it has to do its work. And so the potency of the holy name is already there in the holy name. And so whoever pick up the holy name and chant, that holy name must have effect on the chanter. Even though it's not given directly by the spiritual master. Actually, the holy name is out there by a spiritual master. Chaitanya Prabhu gave it out, and Srila Prabhupada has also given it out. And so the potency is already there. And so I would like you to explain it further, because the power is in the holy name. Actually, when one becomes a bhakta and you start chanting the Hare Krishna, we all had different levels of experience by chanting the Brahma, even though you were not, initiated and the mantra was not given directly by the spiritual master. But we have, very marvelous experiences, during our bhakta stages. And so I would like you to explain that further, because otherwise people may think that, I don't have to chant a mantra because it's not given to me by the spiritual master, so the potency is not there.
I get it,
Yeah. So I'd like you to explain further on that. Thank you.
I understand your point. See, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had the massive Harinam, Sankirtan group in all over India, Navadip. He himself is God. So when he starts chanting, they all get the benefit and they all get liberated, because he himself was giving. He is the guru. So if it is coming from all the Vaishnava chanting Hare Krishna, it's already pure. The holy name itself is pure, like you said, and especially coming from the devotees, we go on Harinam. So they're getting the benefit of that. And Prabhupada gives the example of milk touched by a serpent. You might have heard this example. If milk is all good and pure, but if it is touched by the lips of the serpent, and it becomes poisonous. So similarly, if milk is good, the holy name is already automatically pure. But someone who is envious of God, they can, if we hear the holy name from such person, like Mayavadi impersonalist, or someone who is envious of God, sometimes they chant, but they will not have that same effect, even though the holy name itself is pure. But because how they deliver it, they are not able to affect that person, because of they're diluting it. Just like recently, some people here, some girls, they were in Thailand, this in the news 3 days ago, Laos, and they died from drinking. They died from drinking alcohol. Young girls, they go holiday and they drink. Apparently, the alcohol had poison in it, and some people, they put poison inside. So if you get the alcohol that's authentic from a shop that is made by the person, like from factory properly, not homemade, or they didn't put alcohol in it or poison in it, then you know it's the label is coming from the authentic alcohol. Of course, we don't drink. I'm just giving an example. And these people, these girls, they died because it had poison in it, and they just made from home and so it original in its original form, that alcohol, if it's made by the authentic way, and people buy it from a shop and drink, it's not that it's going to kill you. So similarly, Maha Mantra, the holy name, it itself, it's someone who is sincerely want to chant. The Krishna says, I'm sitting in the heart of all the living entities. I will send them the Guru. I'll send them the spiritual master. I'll send the Vaishnavas to so they can gradually accept the holy name and get initiated. So that initiation has to be there. That's the process. The holy name is, of course, the pure, but my point is that they need to accept it, the mantra from the bona fide Guru. So just like I gave the example of taking the letter, you have to be a postman recognized by government, and then they deliver to the address. So ultimately, the letter is letter coming from you or from me, but the person whose delivery, they is sent to the post box, and they goes to the place and they deliver it to the person that where it belongs to, where it's supposed to go to, its destination. So like that, so the person who's deliberating has to be bona fide Guru. But a person, I'm selling a book in the street, so you buy the Bhagavatam or our Hare Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada's book, from somebody in the street. Prabhupada says that person actually is your first Guru, because he tells you about Krishna. You buy the book and then you read it, and then you go to find a temple. So he's Bhartaka Parshaka Guru. He's ultimately the first Guru. He shows you the path. And then when you go to the temple, you find about chanting, and then someone gives you a bead and chant. So ultimately, there is the first Guru and then the initiating Guru, like that. But it has to be the process of deliberation, the correct deliberation. So the holy name itself is pure, always. But then who delivers it has to be the right person, like the postman. You understand my point? It's not like I said, anyone can chant Hare Krishna. It's pure itself. But then if we can't explain to you, that's what you're asking me. We can explain about the holy name and its purity. Then you want to know a bit more about it. And what is the holy name? Who is Krishna? He's a person. And there's Radharani. I'm asking Krishna, Hare Krishna, engage me in service. So it becomes more clarity. So it's not just I'm chanting, but there's a meaning to all this. There's a mantra. It's a form of, it's a person, the name of Krishna. So it becomes more clear. So you need a guru who can explain these things. Otherwise, I'm just chanting for the sake of chanting. It's not, I'm beaten by a snake. There's a mantra. I can chant Hare Krishna. It's not only for that. It's for the purification of the soul. Holy name, Suddha Chitta Karai Udai. We are born Krishna conscious, but we are covered by ignorance. So the holy name, it has to deliver a person who can explain it much more deeper way. So we know actually it's for the purification of the soul, purification of the heart. Suddha Chitta Karai Udai. Our heart becomes revealed with knowledge, but that knowledge is come. It says the holy name has everything. You don't need to do anything. But then somebody has to explain it. That's why this guru comes, a teacher. You went to school, I went to school, you learn ABC. You can't sit in a room online and study. But somebody has to tell us. Then it becomes more clear, even though it's the same thing. Okay?
I get you, Prabhu. Yes, I wanted to hear that. And you've given it. Thank you so much. Yes, the medicine may be potent, but taking the medicine alone may not do the complete job.
Yeah.
Taking the medicine, you also need a correct diet.
Exactly. Proper doctor has to.
Yes, the seed is potent, but
Yeah.
if that seed falls on the desert, it will be just lying there. But if the seed falls on a soil that is more nutrients, then that seed will germinate and become a tree.
Yeah.
And so the chanting the holy name, also there's a culture. Just explain, there's a culture of chanting the holy name. If you don't know the culture, then you may not get the 100% effect on the holy name. That's why the spiritual master comes in and to explain to you and to increase your understanding and your faith.
Yeah.
So you develop more taste, more understanding of chanting the holy. Okay, I get you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I didn't realize I was muted. I am not sure if anyone else has something to say. We may have to let Prabhu go for now.
It's okay. No problem. No problem. I can continue.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Purushottam Prabhu, yes, do you have something to share?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Actually, my question is about the Sankirtan as the distribution of Srila Prabhupada books.
Yeah.
In West Africa, there is this some devotees in West Africa, this misconception that when you go out and distribute the books, actually people are not taking the books, people are not buying, and which is developing some unenthusiasm for continuing going out to distribute the books. Please, what can you say about this, or what can you advise us about this?
Yeah, the thing is, not every devotee can go out distribute books. But even though our temple authorities wants us to go out, it does require some. It's not easy. Go out in the street, stop people to distribute books. Like for me, it's really hard to stop, especially in the big cities, like here in Melbourne or maybe Sydney or New York, Paris. People are rushing, and it's very tough to stop people. They don't want to talk to anyone, especially selling some religious books. So, but there are thousands of people walking. I'm sure somebody will stop for you, but that requires some humility. That requires your patience. That requires your tolerance. You can't just be going out there and then be a hero. I'm a big book distributor. It doesn't come easy. You have to accept the perseverance and pray to Krishna for his mercy and blessing of Krishna. Because this is religious work. Distribute Prabhupada's books. It's not that, it's a technique. It's not only a technique, it's also how we are Krishna conscious ourselves. Because it's just like same thing, like chanting Hare Krishna. We can chant Hare Krishna, get our rounds done. But then how sincerely we are chanting, how correctly we are chanting, like we're talking about the effect of the mantra. So similarly, distributing books, how sincere we are we have to pray to Krishna, please help me to distribute the books. Please send me the sincere soul. And Krishna will send. Sometimes it is a big test. Immediately go in the street. Don't think you'll sell straight away like selling a bread. It's books. It's going to take time. But you need to have some perseverance. Once you sell one book, another book, gradually you'll sell. But then you're going to be tested. It's not I go in the kitchen and cook for Krishna. That is different. In the street is more test. So that's the highest service you can do to Prabhupada, by going on the street. But then that test is how well are we conducting ourselves, how are we control our mind and our senses. That we're going to be tested on the street. It's easy to be doing in the temple in front of all the devotees, but on the street is tough. So that tough which makes us Krishna conscious. But then you have the whole day. Even if you sell 1 book, 2 books, 5 books, that's good. Because by reading those books, that person become a devotee. That's to your credit. You are their guru. You're showing them the path. It's not the result we attach to. It's how we are loving Krishna. Even 1 book, if that book can explode one day, that person reads it, he will become a devotee. He'll make more devotee. He'll become a guru. Just like 1 rice. 1 grain of rice, make 1 tree of rice. And from there, more rice. And then there's just bags of rice. So don't be disappointed or discouraged. Just go out, and it's tough, it's frustration, but that's going to lead you to make you better. And it's not that in one day we're going to learn quickly. It's a few days and you still go out, maybe a whole day sell 1 or 2 books, but that's all right. It's not ordinary books. Still, you get the blessing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Purushottam Prabhu, I believe the answer is satisfactory to you, I believe. Or you have something else to ask? Well, I very well remember many years ago, we had the blessings and the mercy of His Grace, Srimad Varaha Prabhu, who taught us. He gave a seminar on book distribution.
Yeah.
And even though we say devotees are booksellers, but in reality, devotees are not booksellers. We do not sell books. We are not salesmen. If you're selling and you are not getting participation, then at some point you may say, oh, this is not a very good business. Let me change it. But because we are not salesmen, we cannot change our trade of distributing the books. And from I remember, it's very clear in my mind as if it just happened today. When Srimad Acharya Prabhu gave us the book distribution workshop, just like His Grace Prabhu said, in the first place, you as a devotee should be humble and pray for the mercy of the Lord, because without humility and the mercy of the Lord, you're not going to be able to distribute any single book to anybody, because it is Krishna who touches the heart of the recipient. If Krishna does not touch their heart, they're not going to take any book. So I think, coming from West Africa myself, I think, Purushottam, thank you for sharing this, that we need to have some sort of a senior devotee to give this kind of book distribution workshop to the devotees. It will help the devotees a lot. So the devotees to understand that this is not a profession, it's not a trade, it is a service. So that's what I would suggest. But it's exactly what His Grace Prabhu has said, that it's tough, but with prayers and humility, Krishna will arrange for us to be able to distribute these books.
And another thing is that it's not that all those people in the street are demons. There are also devotees there in the form. So, if we can be more tolerant and we don't give up our service because we will get frustrated, we continue on, and then people see. Among those people, they're watching. They say, oh, this person is finding so hard. Let me stop for him. Let me talk to him. What he's got to give. Even like that, even if some people take pity on us, so, oh, this person is having such a hard time, let me stop for him. They're watching. They see your face, and so like that. But it's not like it's going to be easy and you're going to give out free bread or free cookie, or you're selling books is tough. But then like I said, you're giving them the highest thing. Even one book is like $1 million, you know, and so you're going to get mercy for that. So we cannot. Oh, I have only one or two. You distribute so many. No, don't think like that. We'll get to that, but we're going to be tested at first. Even one book. Feel you're very fortunate to even participate, to go out there. You're Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's army. Like you go out, even sometimes it's hard to kill people. You know, they're expert to get away. You know, you can't shoot them. You're not good at shooting. You miss the person, or they get away. You know, it's not easy to even fight, even if you're a good fighter. But then, by going out there, we learn to become a good army, good soldier for Prabhupada, good soldier for Krishna. This is all practice. You know how fortunate we are. If we go back to Godhead, there's no one to sell books because everybody's devotee. Why do you think the demigods want to take birth here? Because here they can preach. They can be part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are so fortunate to be here. Wherever you are, Africa, here, we're all in the material world. Everywhere is tough. People are ignorant. So even if you go out there, feel fortunate that you're still part of Prabhupada's family. You're going out there. You didn't distribute books. You got the book bag on your back, a book on your shoulder. You got a book bag. You got those weapons with you. So you are as good as the army in the front line. And then you're going to take out one and someone's going to take it. So we should be encourage ourselves. Doesn't matter if you're top book distributor or not. But if you're like you said, just need to be humble a little bit. And Krishna is watching you in the street. And he'll send the person, say, oh, go to this devotee. He's working so hard. Sometimes Krishna may himself come in the guise of an ordinary human being. You never know. And then want to check you, how well you're talking, what you say, just to make you happy. Krishna is very merciful. And like this is what he says, Goswami. You have to control your senses. Swami Goswami. These people become, even Narad Muni worked really hard to become Narad Muni now. You know the story. His mother died, and he was alone in the forest. He ate remnants of the sadhus. That's how he became Narad Muni. It wasn't easy. So if we want to become a good devotee, we are all so fortunate. We have the process now. We can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. With this, and at this point, we're going to humbly request you all devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to our revered uncle, His Grace Prabhu. And Prabhuji, like I said, I would say on behalf of all of us, our sincerest thanks to you for doing this service. I can't imagine waking up at 1:30 to do this service. So our gratitude to you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Devotees, we may all unmute and we chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare Hare.
Chitanam Prabhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. His Grace Prabhava Das Prabhu Ki Jai. His co-founder Acharya is Divine Grace Laisi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Patita Pavan Daga Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.